Imagine inventing the future and then watching someone else profit from it. For nearly a century, Kodak was photography. If you owned a camera, there was a good chance it was Kodak. If you developed film, it was probably Kodak. And if you captured family memories, vacations, birthdays, or weddings, Kodak made money from every single picture. At its peak, the company controlled nearly 90% of the film market and generated billions of dollars in profit. But then something unbelievable happened. The company that invented digital photography became one of its biggest victims. How did Kodak go from an American icon worth over $30 billion to filing for bankruptcy? This is the rise and fall of Kodak. Our story begins in 1888. A businessman named George Eastman had a simple idea. Photography was complicated. Cameras were bulky, expensive, and difficult to use. Eastman wanted to make photography available to everyone, so he created the Kodak camera. Its slogan became legendary. You press the button, we do the rest. Customers simply took photos and mailed the camera back to Kodak. The company developed the film, printed the photos, reloaded the camera, and sent it back. It was revolutionary. For the first time, ordinary people could easily capture memories. The business exploded. Throughout the early 1900s, Kodak became synonymous with photography. As America grew, Kodak grew with it. Families documented birthdays. Soldiers carried Kodak cameras during wartime. Tourists photographed landmarks. Every photo meant more film sales, and that's where Kodak found its goldmine. Kodak wasn't just selling cameras. The real money came from film. Think of it like printers and ink cartridges. The camera was the product, but film generated recurring revenue. Customers continuously bought film rolls, developing services, and photo prints. This business model was incredibly profitable. By the 1970s, Kodak dominated the industry. The company employed over 140,000 people worldwide. Its brand was one of the most trusted names in America. Wall Street loved Kodak. Consumers loved Kodak. And management believed their success would continue forever. But hidden inside Kodak's own laboratories was a technology that would change everything. The invention that changed everything. In 1975, a young Kodak engineer named Steven Sasson created something remarkable, the world's first digital camera. The device looked nothing like today's cameras. It weighed nearly 8 pounds, captured images in black and white, and took more than 20 seconds to record a single photo. But Sasson understood the significance. Photography no longer needed film. Images could become digital data. The future had arrived. When Kodak executives saw the prototype, they weren't impressed. Why? Because digital photography threatened Kodak's biggest source of income, film. Executives worried that digital cameras would destroy the business model that had made Kodak rich. Instead of aggressively developing the technology, Kodak moved cautiously, very cautiously, and that decision would eventually cost the company everything. The digital revolution. During the 1990s and early 2000s, technology advanced rapidly. Computers entered homes. The internet expanded. Digital storage became cheaper. Consumers started embracing digital cameras. Companies like Sony, Canon, Nikon, and later smartphone manufacturers rushed into the market. Meanwhile, Kodak was trapped. The company faced a dilemma. If it pushed digital photography, film sales would collapse. If it protected film sales, competitors would dominate digital photography. Kodak tried to do both, and ended up doing neither effectively. As digital cameras improved, consumers stopped buying film. Photo development stores saw fewer customers. The entire ecosystem that supported Kodak began disappearing. Yet Kodak continued relying heavily on a business model from the 20th century. The smartphone killer, then came the final blow. The smartphone. When Apple introduced the iPhone in 2007, photography changed forever. Suddenly, everyone carried a camera in their pocket. There was no need to buy film, no need to buy a separate camera, no need to visit a photo shop. Pictures could be captured, edited, and shared instantly. The convenience was unbeatable. Kodak's traditional business collapsed even faster. Revenue declined. Profits vanished. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. Factories closed, and investors watched the company struggle to survive. Bankruptcy. In January 2012, Kodak filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The news shocked many Americans. How could a company that once dominated photography fail? The answer wasn't technology. Kodak actually had the technology. Remember, they invented the digital camera. The problem was leadership. The company couldn't fully commit to the future because it was too dependent on the past. They feared disrupting their own business. And while Kodak hesitated, competitors moved forward. History has shown this pattern many times. Companies rarely fail because they lack innovation. They fail because they refuse to embrace it. Lessons from Kodak. Today, Kodak still exists, but it's a shadow of its former self. Its story remains one of the most famous business failures in history. A reminder that no company is too big to fail. No brand is untouchable, and no industry remains the same forever. Kodak taught the world a powerful lesson. Sometimes your greatest threat isn't your competitor. It's your unwillingness to change. The company that invented the future could not adapt to it, and that mistake changed business history forever. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more business stories, corporate failures, and the rise and fall of iconic brands. Thanks for watching.